your favorite game? Oh, it's not Crazy Frog Racer? Okay. I guess you're not very cultured. Crazy Frog, the famous blue frog who goes ring ding ding sorry if I mispronounced that, was the single biggest moment of white culture to come out of the 2000s. Sweden has given us a lot. The IKEA bookshelf, Gravelax, Wallander, Caramel Dancing, many of them we hold dear, but none have quite the impact, quite the special touch of Crazy Frog. Formerly known as the Annoying Thing, Crazy Frog became something of a collective hallucination in the age of the feature phone. He came to us as a ringtone, and we were charmed. We could not resist.
Or how about the video ringtone? You don't only hear the Crazy Frog, but you also see him as video on your mobile. Text Crazy400 to 88888 now.
His little frog knob intrigued us, his invisible motorbike amazed us, and his hideous noises made us smile and giggle. These were innocent, gorgeous times.
Help Larry succeed in seducing beautiful women by texting G1 to 88888.
Yet his existence could not stop at just sound your phone makes. No, they had to make a Crazy Frog video game, or several. Of course they did. Enter Crazy Frog Racer for the Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, PlayStation 2, and PC. This was a game exclusively for the European and Australian market, and excepting the GBA version, which was licensed to German publisher DTP Entertainment, we have UK-based games publisher Digital Jesters to thank, who acquired the licensing rights in 2005 and got to work making Crazy Frog's video game debut just in time for the Christmas period. 1 month later, they were ordered to liquidate the business by the High Court in order to fulfill outstanding payments to Japanese developer Chaos Control, who had taken them to court. So Crazy Frog Racer was the last game they ever got to make. So let's assess this game. Let's evaluate its powers. The Game Boy Advance edition of Crazy Frog Racer features a very powerful language selection screen. Notably, the English selection shows a half UK, half US flag. Unity at last. Crazy Frog is a peacekeeper. Crazy Frog does not cast one country as the arbiters of the English language, which is an unusual choice for a game that was only released in Europe and Australia. While other versions of this game would have a cast of somewhat cohesive robot and non-robot characters, the GBA release instead had, I think, the best character roster. These beautifully strange freaks designed by Michael Hoffman and Tanya Hollingshausen. We got Dream Boy. We got Punk Girl. We got Mafia Hen. The gang's all here. The one I like most, though, is Big Elk. That's a good guy. These things are the lowest ones. Why is the Rasta Dog called Gangster Dog in this concept art? I just don't like him. These are, I assume, the best friends of Crazy Frog, and I like them, except for that Rasta Dog. I like that they gave the bull a nipple piercing. That was important. So Crazy Frog is racing his little cart around the big city, and I like the way the skyscrapers loom in the distance. The city is alive with people going about their regular average days, while Crazy Frog, some other animals, and a punk woman race in the streets. Beautiful to think about. There are 4 game modes here. Tournament, where you compete in a tournament and can maybe shoot another cart with a bazooka. Checkpoint Rally, with an E at the end for some reason, where you drive alone on the track. It's like a time trial, you just see how fast you can do laps, but it feels eerily empty for what it is. One frog alone in an empty world, and you just do it, and that's it. There's only one track to drive on, no reward, just one sad little message to say, yep, you did it. Congrats. There's also Checkpoint Madness, a race with checkpoints and limited time, and it's trivially easy to start out in first place and stay there for the entire race. So I like that. I like to win. And finally, Last Man Standing, which is more of a battle than a race. Your car can get hurt in this game, just like in real life. The idea is that you have to kill the other carts and the last one standing wins, but this mode is agonizing beyond belief. Hitting the other carts with any of these weapons is a nightmare. You'll miss, or your weapon will disappear too quickly, or you'll struggle to pick up something and then maneuver into an advantageous killing position. It's one thing to have fun weapons as an intriguing add-on to a game that is mostly focused on the race, but to abandon the race entirely and just enter a fight while driving, that's a different game. But they thought for this game, yeah man, sure, just add a new mode. Don't bother making it good or fun, just make it really unpleasant to play. Thank you so much. Add that in, send that off to Nintendo. Done. Let's move on to Crazy Frog Racer for the Nintendo DS. So these are functionally very similar games, but on the Nintendo DS we can get funky. Crazy Frog even says his famous phrase here.
Ding 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 ding.
In this version of the game, there are 3 simple modes: Championship, Single Race, and Time Trial. The playable characters this time around include Annoying Thing, that's Crazy Frog himself, some guys wearing hoodies, a fairy, some kind of robot man, and an angry chef. Who are these people, and how do they know Crazy Frog? Where did you guys meet him? At the DMV? In this world, the frog doesn't have a vehicle. Instead, he rides in the air, presumably through the power of his own will. He can just do that. This is, after all, what goes on in the original Axel F music video, but in the new context this game provides, it seems funnier somehow. Everyone else has a vehicle, but that frog is just different. He's just riding the air, baby. The track here is a lot more dynamic than the GBA's offering. This track goes up and down, and actually it's a touch disorienting. You just can't see ahead of you very well because of the extreme turns and heights of the road, so it's inevitable that you bounce off the sides constantly and sometimes fall off the track entirely. No! We've lost him! You can collect both coins and nuts to health, and you're gonna fall past whatever part of the track you're meant to land on from above several times through no fault of your own. This is just how it is here. The frog is expected to fall, but he must do it perfectly with his little froggy eyes closed and his little froggy dick out. Even if it's censored, I know it's there. You cannot censor my own rich creative mind. I have added the freeness back in. I think this game is a bit more annoying, but also more dynamic, more fun, and better designed than its GBA counterpart. I generally rather play this version. Crazy Frog literally looks good. That draw distance, though, it does harm me. It frightens my little eyes. Onward now to PlayStation the 2nd. So the main thing you need to know about Crazy Frog Racer for the PS2 is that there's now a hideous cow. Matilda's character is based on mad cow disease. The game opens with Crazy Frog speeding towards you in a supremely frightening manner before throwing you into another funky start menu. There's a lot more of a rounded feel to this game compared to the other versions. Visuals and sound are of a much higher quality, and basically Crazy Frog makes a noise whenever you confirm a selection. Thank you for acknowledging me, Crazy Frog. There's even a jukebox option here where you can watch Mr. Frog dance to a number of enticing club tunes. This is the Crazy Frog game that actually cares about what Crazy Frog represents. High energy club music for the under 10s. And it gives the game some genuine flavor. Dance, you wild little frog, dance! Oh my goodness. Anyway, much like the others, this game has a menu of exciting racing options. Here it's Championship, Single Race, Time Trials, and Chase. Our character selection screen this time around gives us options such as Hip Hop Grim Reaper, Little Blonde Woman, and some kind of martial arts guy. The Scary Chef is also available, and he looks more sinister than ever. Don't cook me up, Michelle. There are 3 cups to choose from: Baby Cup, Funny Cup, and Crazy Cup. The gameplay feels more fleshed out, and here you can attack your fellow racers with big spiky balls and such. They'll say ow every time you hit them. I think it really hurts them. This is a competent racing game. I feel like Crazy Frog reached his gaming peak here. He belongs on the PS2, and he belongs, above all, in a hazy urban landscape with appropriately trance-like electronic music. You can get into the vibe here. Cruise with the frog. Do I still hate falling constantly onto incorrect parts of the track? Yes, but the ambience has been obtained, and I'll take that. So that's Crazy Frog Racer. That's the Crazy Frog game, basically. But what if I told you there was another Crazy Frog Racer? It was on your phone, and it was Christmas. Yes, you better believe it, we also have Crazy Frog Racer Christmas Edition. Oh my god, yes. This will get the festive spirit into me once and for all. This is a Java game for pre-smartphone phones, so this makes more immediate sense as a Crazy Frog product in the Crazy Frog marketplace because, of course, Crazy Frog is for your phone. Crazy Frog is your ringtone. So here he is, on that very same phone as a Java game. When you start the game, you enter the main menu, of course, but on your way there, you're greeted by this violently shaking Crazy Frog in his beautiful Santa hat. Dear God, hurry up and press 5, he's seizing! In the menu here we have 3 options, single race and the very mysterious Way of the Frog and Racer thing. What are these? Well, Way of the Frog is a structured progression tree which you must traverse by winning races. I tragically was unable to progress because the game punishes you severely at all times and with little warning. If you touch one of these negative coins, you'll be hurt, and if you get hurt too much, you'll be eliminated from the race. Sometimes you'll be eliminated and you won't be sure why, which makes playing this quite a tense experience. Death is coming for this frog, and it could happen at any time. Racer Thing is a very mysterious option in the main menu, and it shows me a single screen. I don't know what that is. It's hard to recommend a game like this, the perfect stereotype of the confusing and hard to control Java game, but at least it is fast. But it's not the only Crazy Frog Java game. No. There are some more. These include Crazy Frog Mobile Pet. This is a pet sim with very basic interactions that amount to playing a single animation each time. One of them is doing this to Crazy Frog. So, okay, cool. Brave, I think, to include that. I like the main screen you look at, which is the frog holding a pulsating heart and thinking, I'm sick. Me too, Crazy Frog. Now though, when I open the game, it will only show me a screen that says, ominously, Crazy Frog has left you. There's another game simply called Crazy Frog, and this game is a bit like Flappy Bird if Flappy Bird didn't have any way to progress. Essentially, you let Crazy Frog loose with one big rip of his jetpack, and maybe you get a second burst when he's on his way down, but most likely you're only getting those 2 tries. I have obtained some high scores, as you can see here, and they are not very good. Bad game. Then we have Crazy Frogs Dancing. This is a rhythm game. I cannot control it well, but it is a rhythm game. This at least makes sense conceptually. It lends itself well to the button layout of ye old mobile phone, and it's music related. It's what Crazy Frog's all about. It is, however, musicless. I don't hear any sounds, and the frog dances in silence. Maybe it's corrupted, I don't know. I'm playing this on my Samsung S20, so who knows? Finally, there's Crazy Frog Soccer Manager. This game shows Crazy Frog when you open it, but then it's just a football game with no frog in sight. You don't get to control the players directly, but just manage their options once they get the ball. Riveting stuff. Where is Crazy Frog? I have been lied to. This is not a Crazy Frog game. This is not what it is. Those were really beautiful, but let's go back to the PlayStation 2, where we will find 2006's Crazy Frog Racer sequel, Crazy Frog Racer 2. And this one, you'll be delighted to hear, was released in North America under the title Crazy Frog Arcade Racer. Thank God. So once again, we are greeted by the scary chef. I've come to think of him as a friend. I've warmed to him. He's so scary, and I think now that I've gotten used to his razor-sharp teeth, I like him. Now, the first PS2 game had a nice soundscape, but this beautiful sequel is on another level, because here we get tons of full, genuine, real-deal Crazy Frog songs. If you're a true fan of the music, this one is for you, because Crazy Frog is more than just Axel F. Crazy Frog has an expansive body of work, and you can hear it right here on the PlayStation 2. My favorite song here is this football song, which plays in the football level.
90 minutes, it's World Cup time. Crazy Frog, go, Crazy Frog, go.
It's called Go Froggy Go, and I really like it. This is pure World Cup spirit. New Order Move Over. We have a new Supreme World Cup song. This is easily the best Crazy Frog game. It has more attention to detail, a wider selection of tracks, a smoother sense of motion, but my major criticism of it is that it's just kind of hard. It shares the same problem as many of the other games in that it's way too easy to fall off the track, and it quickly feels like you're just being arbitrarily punished at every turn. You fall, your opponents get way ahead of you, and you fail. It's a sad reality, and I just don't think Crazy Frog deserves to be humiliated like this. This frog is an adept rider of the air, but it seems, tragically, that I cannot experience such pleasures. Okay, we've raced extensively, but there's still another Crazy Frog game left. Or 2. Let us return to the reliable old Nintendo DS, where an artistic game awaits us. Crazy Frog Collectibles Art School is something else. This is an art game. Finally, I'll have the chance to show you my creative vision here. We open with some somber, thoughtful music. this is really serious. After pressing start, the game first wants you to sign your name to create your artist signature in a classic, gorgeous neon green. Then you may open your canvas, check out the gallery, have a break, or adjust the options. What will this game teach me, you might be asking? What do students learn at Crazy Frog's art school? Well, nothing, as it turns out. It's a coloring book. You had to choose an image to work with, a paper type, and a medium. I decided on Crazy Frog in pajamas because I thought, you know, let's go with an intimate and personal Crazy Frog pick. And here we are, this is our canvas. It's disgusting. This game is hideous on just about every level. The coloring pages it gives you are so unfathomably ugly. I don't know why it's not a more simplified line drawing instead of this weird filtered look that delineates different areas of shading that there is no way you're going to be able to color in well. The colors themselves are nasty, and the worst crime of all is that putting your lines down just feels and looks horrible. I despise the feeling of the paintbrush. Ew. The Nintendo DS has some reasonable capabilities for art. We literally have Flipnote, and it's great. So why this had to be quite so repulsive, I don't know, but here's my awful image. All it needs now is a signature. Ugh. Perfect. It's impressive that after saving it, it looks even worse in the gallery. Delicious compression artifacts. Yum, yum, yum. If you get bored of coloring, you can play 4 exciting minigames. Color memory, where you remember colors. Yeah, that's right. I remembered them. God damn it. Arrgh. Hit and error, which is just whack-a-mole. No Crazy Frog theming to this. You just have to attack and punish some cute anime squirrels. Puzzle, which is a slide puzzle that I'll give some kudos to, just because it actually incorporates your artwork. And finally, Pixel Race. The most incredible thing yet. You drag a pixel from point A to point B. Wow. Thank you, Crazy Frog. I am having so much fun. This is shovelware to the extreme. It's a reskin of the Paint by DS series of games where you can color in classic paintings or, if you prefer, military vehicles. This game received low review scores. How shocking. I would argue that the Japanese original version, Kokoro o Yasumere Otona no Nurie DS, has a little bit of visual flair by comparison and some nice music. But this game is stinky all the way down. It doesn't feel good. I don't have fun using it feels bad. You know, but at least the original has a kind of cohesion to it. That's our last Crazy Frog game, but hold on, because we need to talk about one final game, the almost Crazy Frog game. The Crazy Frog collectibles prefix from the art school game seems conspicuous, doesn't it? What do you mean, collectibles? What's collectible here? What am I supposedly collecting? Where are the aforementioned collectibles? Well, this was the first in a planned series of Crazy Frog collectibles, with a second game in development called Crazy Frog Collectibles Faces. But sadly and tragically for us, this game was cancelled when its publisher, Mercury Games, went bankrupt in 2008. The wonderful news is that this was reworked into Crazy Chibo Puzzle Party, a DSiWare game ruthlessly stripped of all remnants of the Crazy Frog intellectual property, which hastily replaces him with an absolute monster. This is Chibo. He's green, he has a passion for dance, and he appears to be both stinky and neurotic. The way he creeps around and farts and looks ashamed of himself for farting is arguably more characterization than Dear Crazy Frog gets already, and in some ways I really do like the sheer fetid design of the little man, but Chibo has sadly not yet become a sensation. Crazy Chibo Puzzle Party has a sinister energy all the way through on account of a lot of overwrought and out-of-place design elements juxtaposed with underbaked mechanics and models. When you enter the language selection screen, Chibo is sad. He's so sad. He doesn't want you to switch languages. He would really rather you didn't. Once the game starts, we see Chibo being chased through an endless blue void by a big spiky mech, and Chibo, I guess, ends up in the ball pit, the only landmark in an otherwise empty space where a puzzle game begins to take place. This screen, the main game screen as it turns out, is a wall of Chibo faces in unnatural, non-Chibo colors that gaze at you in a ceaseless and slow way. Each face seems to size you up, shifting slowly into different expressions, and you have to match them and make them explode. Ugh. If you don't match up Chibo faces quickly enough, Chibo will turn his back on you and assume the most disappointed stance a creature has ever had. I'm sorry, Chibo. I'm sorry I couldn't collect the Chibo protractor or whatever the hell it is that you need. Okay? I'll do my best, but I'm sorry. The puzzle mechanics are actually a little bit weird here. It took me a second to figure out that while you have limited moves, a la Pokemon Shuffle, a game I have played too much of, dragging a Chibo face either horizontally or vertically to a position where it can match with other Chibo faces doesn't count as a move. It feels a little clunky, like it's odd not to be able to drag diagonally or drag kind of, I don't know, it feels weird. But once I got over the slight learning curve, I did find this pretty fun to play. I'm working on that high score, Chibo, for you. So, after spending all this time with Crazy Frog, I know him no better. He's a mysterious, alien-like creature who really doesn't resemble any frog I've seen before, and while he clearly must have a passion for riding, that's really all that can be said for him. His games range from really horrible to maybe okay, and you know, if you can get beyond the surface level, opportunistic and uninspired IP-grabbing garbaggio of the whole thing, there's something neat about Crazy Frog getting to exist as this chunky 3D model, or pixelated coloring in page, or reskinned eyeball dreadlock abomination. Here is an ugly, disgusting, useless, botched freak that society loved so much that we gave him, for a short time, his own sequence of broken digital worlds. And I hate all of them. Thanks, Crazy Frog.